missed you guys. One, before y'all are like tripping, like y'all just started coming to this church and you're already about to leave, please don't. I'm not the pastor here. My name's Tyler. The lead pastor's name's Pastor Troy. I'm a little taller than him, but he's a cool dude, and I think you should stay and kick it for a little bit. He's like 5'5", I'm 6'5", you know, it is what it is. Man, I'm just so grateful to be here. Now, we do have to talk about your pastor real quick, all right? Pastors Troy and Steph, all right? They are some of the greatest human beings. I'm gonna try not to cry because I'm not feeling it right now, unless I do. Pastor Troy and Steph are some of the greatest human beings that have ever walked the face of this planet. From 2021 and back. I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about, here's how I know. Are you ready? So, my wife and I used to work at Potential Church, okay? We were the student pastors, and then we moved to Pensacola and helped with the Pensacola campus, all of that. But when we moved to South Florida, when we moved with you guys, we didn't know nobody. Like, we had no friends, we had no family, we just existed. Like, we were shopping for friends. Like, we would go to Walmart and go to the kids section just to see if there were young couples that had kids that we could start being friends with. That's when you know you're hurting. You're just like, oh snap, they look fun, let me go over there. And you're just creeping the whole time. We needed friends. We needed people to have in our corner. And we didn't have that when we first moved here. And we moved like September, October of this year. I think it was like 2016 or 17, something like that. On Thanksgiving, my wife gets a text from Pastor Steph and said, hey, not sure if you're doing anything for Thanksgiving. We were just gonna get some McDonald's anyways. She said, do you wanna come eat Thanksgiving at my house? What? You don't just do that. Like, I could rob you. I could take all your silverware. That's how people in Nashville get down. I said, you don't even know me. They don't care. Then they even texted, well, what do you want to eat? And I said, mac and cheese, because I'm saved. And you know what she did? She made mac and cheese. That's how I knew they were some real ones. That's how I knew you guys had some OGs as pastors. And when I say Pastors Troy and Steph are the greatest people in the world, can we make some noise for them real quick? Real quick. Because here's what I saw. Here's what I saw. When you walk in this church, you know what you see? People smiling, people waving at you, and you don't look like them, you don't talk like them, you probably didn't vote like them, you may not believe in it. They don't care, do they? When you walk in here, you feel loved. You know where that starts? In Pastor Troy and Steph's house. That's where that starts. That's why I love Potential Church so much. Y'all got me tripping this morning. That's why I love Potential Church. But I do like, now I will say I like South Florida. The first service, if you missed it, you can go watch. That was a little more emotional. This one, I'm gonna just mess around for a second. I do miss South Florida. So, like they said, I moved from South Florida back to Nashville. That's where I'm from. You know what they don't have in Nashville that they have here? Churros. Well, someone told me yesterday, well, how do you really pronounce it? Churros, something like that? Okay, they don't have churros and we had never had a churro in my life, okay? Y'all just act like it's just normal out here. You know what I mean? So I remember I went to the churro store and there was no line. And I'm like going around here, I'm like, y'all are tripping. You've never had a churro? And they're like, my grandma makes one better. Just walk away. And so when I moved back to Nashville, I Googled churros in Nashville. You know where that mug sent me? Taco Bell. And you know what they thought was churros? You know those little cinnamon twists they never bring you out when you pay for them? That's what they thought a churro was. But man, so when, of course, yesterday, you know I had my churro. Boy, I was bombing on those things. Love churros. And there is something, though, I don't really like about South Florida, I will tell you, okay? I got a rental car. I drove to my hotel. That was it. That's what I don't like about South Florida. I had to drive. Y'all dudes are crazy. I see that, like, Elon Musk and all them are trying to make self-driving cars. They'll never sell one in South Florida. I hope you know that this is the reason. South Florida is the reason there is not no self-driving car. Y'all would swing on a robot in a heartbeat. Y'all would get out, start punching the airbag. Y'all don't even care. Like, y'all guys get heated on the roads, man. South Florida is a crazy place, but I love coming out here. But like they said, we moved from South Florida back to Nashville to start a church, to start a different church. And I didn't get to bring them, but I have a wife. Her name's Ryan, like the boy. She's not a boy. And I have two daughters, Salem, who's 7, and Asher, who's 5, okay? Now, whenever I began to dream about different church, I knew just like there's a McDonald's, a Burger King, a Wendy's, there's a Baptist church, Pentecostal church, Catholic church, they're all over the place. So I really was praying like, God, why do you want me to start a church when there are so many churches? He said, no, I want you to start a different church. We don't need the same thing being recreated 1,000,004 times. We need a revival. We need something different. We need something where people are gonna walk down a road that's the scary part of town. Don't go down that road. You'll get carjacked. No. I'm sliding through. I'll slide through and knock on your door and say, hey, I love you. I'm praying for you. What you need? That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to start a different church. And so when we planted in 2021, at the beginning, you know what that looked like, online. So then God began to work on me like, hey, start an online church, 100% online church. What does that look like, Tyler? That's tripping me out. Not only, and I'll break it down, not only on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. does a sermon go out, right? They hear Tyler, they hate Tyler, whatever. We produce the Bible online. Because the people we want to reach have never read the Bible. But you know what we do with it? You ever done the audio Bible on your phone, like on the Bible app? Doesn't it put you to sleep though? No hate on it. I used to like think growing up, if I fell asleep while I prayed, I was going to hell. That's just what I grew up thinking. So I thought, what if we added like a hip hop beat to it? What if we did the Bible with the lyrics, like a lyric video, and people could go run to it, people could work out to it? Bro, when I tell you, so this past year we did the book of Ephesians and the book of Philippians. When I tell you we have a personal trainer in Nashville that every single day when people come to his gym, he plays the book of Ephesians on repeat. He'll call me and be like, bro, we got him. They done read the word, ain't even know. Like, it's the idea behind different churches. Long before you ever walk through my door, I want to walk into your door. I want to bring you hope on that couch right there on the treadmill in your dorm room, wherever you live. That's what we want to do. So we produce the Bible online. We do story videos like next month on November 15th, where there's a rapper in Nashville that we did an interview with that he grew up, not a Christian. Hear me. Remember, we do stuff different. This is a dude I grew up with rapping with. We think he's saved. And we said, hey, how has God impacted your life as a rapper in the city? How's that? What did the church do for you? What did grandma dragging you by your dreadlocks into church? What did that do to you? And we tell those stories all through Nashville. So that's what we do. But you know what the coolest part is? While we're doing this, and then we're done, I promise. I just got to tell y'all, I haven't seen y'all in a little bit. While we're doing that in Nashville, this organization in Albania, not Alabama, Albania, in between Greece and Italy, Albania. I can't even speak English, let alone they call me. Hey, we see what you're doing. We live in an atheist country with Muslim roots. There's not a Christian church that reaches the next generation in this whole country. Whole country, not city. When they talk Albania, they talk whole country stuff. They said, would you, the CEO calls me. And this, bro, if you knew where I came from, first of all, if you knew where I came from in Nashville and I was on the phone with any type of CEO outside of I'll clean your toilets, I'd say you're tripping. But God did something. God's messing with me. I don't know what he's doing, and I think that he wants to do it in you. But so the CEO calls me and he says, hey, I got a staff over here. What would you think about creating content in our language for our country? There's not one thing. There's not one thing that exists. There's not one church that's doing anything remotely close. He said, you can use my staff. He said, different Albania is on the map now, baby. And I don't think you get me. Now, you guys are thinking Alabama. No, don't trip. I'm talking Albania, in between Greece and Italy. Bro, Kentucky's far from me. And they're wanting me, but you know what the coolest part is? They'll never see my face. They'll never see my face. We're empowering, so it's 3 orphanages and 2 teen centers. And these teens feel like they're called to ministry because they got dropped off as orphans and they've come through this organization. Because in Greece and Italy, when some people want to meet, an Italian meets a Greek lady, they want to meet somewhere, they're not allowed to meet in their country. Where do you think they go? Albania, and they just drop the kid off. And we're using them. We're using the one that was dropped off on the side of the road. Now we got Robbie saying, God loves you, here's a word. What? What? If not, but for the grace of God, dude. Like, I didn't do this last service, man. It could only be God. You ever look back in your life and go, God, you have been too good to me. You couldn't write it, dude. That guy that wrote the Notebook, he couldn't write my story, no doubt. No way. But God wants to do it. And so, man, can I tell you, in the last 6 months, we've reached 350,000 people through different church online. Y'all just don't get it, I don't think. I don't know 350 people, let alone 350,000. So here's what I'll tell you. Different Albania hasn't officially launched yet, or we haven't told Americans that we've done it yet, okay? Because I didn't want a flood of Americans to go before the Albanians got to see it, right? So 2 weeks ago, we made a video. It read Proverbs 3, verse 5 and 6, and ship. That's their language, ship. And we just said, let's just put it out and see how many. We didn't know. I've never done this before. And so we put it out, and 700 people read the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. I don't know 700 Americans that read Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. That's crazy. And I want to tell you, coming back, I don't want you to look at me from another church. I don't want you to look at that. You've got a campus in Nashville. Potential Church has a campus in Nashville. It's just called Different Church, and Tyler just hangs out. And really, if you want to get technical, because y'all guys decided to give and help me out, you know where else you guys have a campus because of your giving? Albania. Y'all did that. Y'all did that. Y'all did that. And so, man, I thank Pastor Troy. I thank you guys. Man, I'm telling you, we're working, man. I didn't go out there to do a vacation, man. I'm here to grind. My grandma wouldn't let me do that. I'm here to grind. I wasted too much time not serving the Lord. For real. 18 years, I didn't do one thing for the Lord. I don't got time for that. But whenever you do online church, okay, when you do online church, your email, so some of y'all know what I'm talking about whenever I say church emails. I didn't get my spot. I didn't get my seat this week, Pastor. I'm leaving. Oh, I didn't get my parking spot this week, Pastor. I'm leaving, right? I didn't like the song this week. I'm leaving, right? We don't get those at Different Church. What we get are comments. And I've really kind of come to the conclusion in today's world, I don't think any of us actually care about videos or pictures or memes. We love the comment section. We love the tea, don't you? You ever see somebody they posted something about the vaccine, posted something about the election, posted something about an ex or something, and you see 40 comments on Facebook? What are you doing? I guess, let me see, just so I know I gotta pastor this situation. Y'all know what you're doing. You love the tea, you love the comment section, and this world is surrounded. And here's what I'll tell you, in your life, you'll have a comment section. Preston, you got this for me? So at Different Church, since we're only online, that's all we have is a comment section. So every morning I wake up to user 8951545531349 saying, Tyler's annoying. This is on one of my videos. He is annoying. Every morning I wake up, this morning included. When you reach 350,000 people online, not all of them are gonna like you. You know that there's going to be a user 8951545531349 saying, he's annoying, you're annoying. But you know what, as I began to pray, I never used to get these comments before I stepped into the calling God asked me to do. Before I started this church, I never got user 8954 saying he's annoying. I never got it. But right when I decided to step into who God called me to be, you know what happened? I step over, he's annoying. You got that auntie, the uncle, the cousin, the coworker, the friend, whatever, jealous. Right when you say, I'm stepping out and starting a business, oh, don't do it. You know your mama failed. Don't marry that person. You'll never hear the comments. And that's why so many people stay on this side, isn't it? It's nice on this side. I don't get mean comments on this side. But am I fulfilled on this side? Am I doing what God called me to do on this side? No, you're not. And then every morning I wake up, and I get this every day. I didn't know how important peace was until I walked into this season. Having peace in the comments section of your life. You know everyone's got the answer for you. Everyone knows how to spend your money. Everyone knows how to deal with your marriage. Everyone knows how to parent your kids. How do I have peace? Peace. Because this seems like we don't have much of it, do we? Because there are so many trolls, user 895-154-553-1349, saying, don't do that, you're annoying. This was the only one that didn't have curse words or middle finger emojis. This is the only one I could get printed out that we couldn't blur, for the TV. Oh, wouldn't that be crazy? Potential churches rated R on the TV thing. Pastor, if you're watching this, just an idea. And a lot of times, it's not your gifts, it's not your talents, it's not the calling, it's not having the right money, it's not having anything. You know what it is that's keeping you from stepping into what God called you to do? I didn't say this in the first service. You know what it is? This. That's all this is. And you know what that person is? A voice. And that's it. And that's it. But we get so scared to step into what God called us to do because they're gonna cuss me out. They're gonna get mad. Do it. So if you have a Bible, as we seek peace, right? I need, in this season of my life, I need peace. Where do I go? If you have a Bible, Philippians 4, verse 6 and 7. We got up here, we playing karaoke? Okay, cool. Look at this. We know it. If you don't know it, write it on your hand, get it tattooed somewhere. This is the word right here. Don't worry about. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank Him for all He's done. Verse 7, and we're done. Then, which is my favorite word in the Bible, then you will experience God's peace. Not your manager that gave you a promotions peace. Not I finally got married peace, because all that runs out, doesn't it? Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything you can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as long as you live in Christ Jesus. Let's go back to verse 6. What's it say? At the very beginning, it tells us, don't worry about. Do you worry? Like, can we be real? Like, you know how when you come to church, you kind of put that front on? Like, all of you guys look really good. And I hope you feel that good inside. I don't know. I can't speak for you. I'll tell you now, I'm worrying about some stuff. Even preaching, I'm worrying about some stuff. This says, don't worry about anything. And I think that we get that word twisted, anything. I think we think God wants me to worry about the big stuff, though, right? It wouldn't be big in my life. I wouldn't be passionate about it in my life if I wasn't supposed to worry about it. No. I read this Bible a couple times, this passage a couple times. There's no asterisk by this with a deeper. This anything means anything. Not, well, I'll worry about the marriage. He can worry about the oil change that I don't have the money for. No. He says, don't worry about. But that's hard. You know how many things are happening in my life right now? Do you know everything I think I want to do right now? do you know my kids right now? He says, no, don't worry about anything. And I love that the Bible, and you know, it trips me out when people will say, hey, Pastor Tyler, man, because we deal with a lot of people that don't come to church, that don't do anything like that. Pastor Tyler, man, I just don't understand the Bible. Pull that up real quick. I did leapfrog in school growing up. If I can understand this, can we get verse 6? If I can understand the Bible, you have no excuse. Verse 6. Is this hard to read? Look, don't worry about anything. I'm not a smart, what did Forrest Gump say? It doesn't take a smart man. It doesn't take a smart man to know God's asking me, don't worry about whatever you're stressing about, whatever you're anxious about. Stop. But he doesn't leave you there, does he? What does he say? Instead, he gives you the medicine. Well, I'm worried, right? You wouldn't go somewhere and say, hey, I'm sick, I have cancer. Hey, I'm sick, I have this. The doctor doesn't go, well, hey, don't worry about it. No, what would the doctor do? They prescribe you the fix. And what does it say? Instead, take this medicine, pray about everything. Everything. You ever, and this is gonna put myself on blast, okay? You ever get done praying and you're like shouting the house down? You've been praying, you've been moving miracles, and you look up and it's been 2 minutes? You start praying at 5 o'clock and you're like, Lord, I know I'm gonna see a breakthrough. You start praying in the car and you look at the clock after you're done, you're sweating, it's 5:01. Maybe it's just me. I'm really good at praying for like a minute or 2 minutes. And I always wondered, man, why can't I pray for a long time? Like, why can't I really talk to God? And God laid it on my heart. Well, you're talking to me about the stuff you want to talk about. He wants to talk to me about what? Everything. Not just the stuff I'm interested in, right? You ever, when your kid comes in from school, what do you say? How was school? And they tell you what they thought about school. You want to know what? Tell me everything. Who you sit next to, what you eat for lunch, what you play on the playground. But those kids walk in, I'm good, nothing. And you wonder why your communication with your father is so short. You're not saying everything. Because you know what's crazy? One morning I decided, I'm gonna pray about everything. One morning I did. I got up, and I told myself the night before, Tyler, you're gonna pray about everything tomorrow. We're gonna do, what does it say? Pray without ceasing. I said, boy, we're about to try this thing. I woke up, what do I gotta do? Thank you for waking me up, Lord. Thank you for another breath. And then I get up and I had toothpaste in the tooth thing. I said, oh Lord, thank you for the $2.97 it cost to do the Colgate. I start doing that. I turn my water on. Guess what? I gotta pray again. Thank you for this water, because there was a time when I didn't have water. There was a time. Some of y'all don't know what Cheerios and water tastes like. Some of y'all don't know what that tastes like. I do. So when I said, oh snap, I got a little bit of 2%, let me go ahead and pour that in here real quick. Thank you, Lord. And I found out, oh snap, I'm like praying for hours. But we just want to talk to him about the stuff we want to talk about, don't we? That's all we want to do. God, I need this raise. Thank you, amen. And we make it sound good too, don't we? Oh, in Jesus' name, I pray right now that the enemy would be rebuked, and Brenda wouldn't get the raise, but I would, and Brenda doesn't even love the Lord, and I do, and bro, move on. There is some more stuff that you need to pray for, but it says don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. But why is that so hard for us to do? For real. Why is it so hard for me to pray? You know what prayer, hey balcony, you know what prayer tells you? You don't have the answers. And as a man, can I be honest with you? As a man, that's kind of hard to say, I need help, I don't have the answers. You ever see a guy who looks like he knows how to work on a car? You can obviously look at me and tell I probably don't know how to work on a car. So when we have car trouble at the house, my wife is torn. She's got a husband, but can he fix her situation? But you know what she does? Hey, Tyler, can you look at the car? Or will you call a mechanic, fellas? You think I'm about to call another man to help my wife? No, I'm not. So I hop on YouTube, just like every good man does. And here's the crazy part. You can look like a mechanic and not know how to work on an engine. You can look like you know how to fix something and not know how to do nothing else. Because here's what I'll do. Every video I see a mechanic that has a rag. Can't work on a car without a rag, so I grab a rag and I put it right here. I look like I know. Right now, you're going, oh, snap, you go, Tyler. And I walk over, and I see that the mechanic pops the hood. So what does Tyler do? I pop that thing, and then I see my wife's just in the window, just, Look at my man. I open it, and I always see the mechanic would kind of like pop out a little bit and just stare for a second into the engine. And they'll look at it. So what do? I pop that thing a little bit, and I look in that engine. Now, here's the difference between me and a real mechanic. When they're looking in an engine, they're looking to diagnose a problem. When I'm looking at an engine, I'm looking at an engine. And you know when you don't know what to do, and ladies, if you're like my wife, when you don't know what to do, you just clean, don't you? You just start bleaching everything for no reason. You just start bleaching everything, the beds, you just start pouring it. And so what will I do with that rag? I just start cleaning the engine. That thing has no grease on it whatsoever. The more I touch the engine, the worse it gets. Your situation, your pride is keeping you from going, help! And the more, listen, some of the most dangerous words in the English dictionary are, I got this. That is some of the most dangerous things you can say, or let me figure this out. Stop! You look like me in front of the engine. If you had the answer, if Tyler has the answer to Tyler's problems, I wouldn't have been in the problem to begin with. But when you really pray, there can be no pride. But that's the thing that keeps you from really praying. And that's what Jesus said. You remember, I don't know if you remember the passage when Jesus goes, there are two types of people that pray. There are the people that go, God, thank you so much. And they start, you know them, hooping, hollering. I thank you that I'm not a sinner like that person. And then there's the real prayer. Lord, thank you that I'm not dead. That pride. But it takes a while. And it's hard when you're worried, when you're stressed. What do you say? First thing, I got this. I can figure this out. And that's a dangerous place to be at. I remember, so in the South, I lived with my grandparents for a long time, okay? And living with your grandparents is weird, right? You're just a different type of breed, right? I know every single Lil Wayne record that's ever come out, but I also have seen every episode of I Love Lucy and Green Acres. I'm a weird dude right now. I know too much information. And when I say this, maybe you'll know what I'm talking about. It was Grandpa's house, but Grandma's kitchen. And you were not allowed to step foot into that kitchen. My grandpa didn't dare step foot in that kitchen. And now it's kind of weird because my daughters just walk in and open the fridge. What? There's a wooden spoon ready for me right when I open that fridge. I just couldn't eat when I wanted to eat. Now my daughters just do it. It's on their Kardashian stuff. But I remember the only time I was allowed to go into the kitchen was when my grandma was watching her shows. And you know what her shows were? 3 shows. The Price is Right, Jeopardy. I remember as a kid, Ken Jennings just couldn't lose. That man just kept running that thing. And the last one, and my favorite, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? That was my favorite one. I was like, Grandma, we can win $1 million. Get me on that thing. And for anybody younger that doesn't know what Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, it's 15 questions, right? I think it's 15 questions. And if you answer them all, you get $1 million. But in it, you get 3 lifelines, all right? So if you run into a situation you can't figure out, a question you can't figure out, you got 3 lifelines. 50-50, we remove 2 wrong answers, so now you have like B and C, and one's right, one's wrong. You have Ask the Audience, which, looking down here, I think we probably lose, but my balcony's got me up there. I think my balcony, we can do this thing. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. That's the smoking section up there. I like the balcony. And then the last one. What was the last one? Phone a friend. But what would you do? You didn't just call anybody, did you? Before the show started, they asked you, hear me, and I don't know you're gonna do it. What if they'd ask the contestant, Tyler, what if you run into a question you can't answer? Who do you want to call? And you would find the smartest, the brightest, the dude that knows everything about every country, every civilization. You want that guy as a lifeline. Why? Because if I run into this, I don't want to lose the blessing at the end of this. And so when the person, they'd be sitting at the table, it's kind of a table like this, wasn't it? They'd be sitting like this and the lights would come down. Doo-doo. And they say, well, sir, what's the answer? What would they say? Well, I'd like to phone a friend. And who would they call? The person that they already knew. That person has the answer. That person's smarter than me, stronger than me. You do know Jesus didn't just die for us to come to church on Easter. He came, so you have this lifeline right when you run into, but remember, you won't do it. Worry causes you to not do it in the moment because everything's hitting you and you go, let me just figure this out. No, before you get to the worry, before you sit down and start answering questions, you say, I've already got my lifeline. Right when something pops up, God's given me skills, God's given me abilities, God's given me a calling, but there are gonna be some stuff that I don't understand. When that happens, I don't have to worry. Why? Don't worry about anything. Instead, your lifeline. Your lifeline. And that's where the peace, I really do believe that we are searching for peace in the wrong place. You ever said a prayer like, God, let nothing bad happen to me today, amen. Dude, that's like the worst thing ever. I think God creates peace in pain. I think the situation you're trying to dodge, you're trying to get around, God's saying, I'm doing something in this, just wait for a moment and talk to me through it. Your kid ever been hurt? If you have a kid, your kid ever been hurt and you can't, they kind of have to go through the pain, don't they? Well, what do? Give me your hand. Hey, give me your hand, Salem. Give me your hand, Asher. We got this. But you've got this season, you fell down, you scraped your knee this season. But we say, God, I don't want to fall down at all. I don't want to scrape my knee at all. He said, dude, I'm teaching you something when you scrape your knee. I'm teaching you something. But that's our prayer for peace. Don't let nothing bad happen. I don't need peace on the beach. I need peace in the comments section. I need peace at my job. I need peace with my kids that ran out on me. I need peace with my husband that ran, whatever. I need peace then. So what does it say? Verse 6. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. And look at this. Tell God what you need. I'm good at that. We've all got Amazon carts, right? Like we know what we need. You know what you need. You need $1 million. Big bet. Let's make it happen. No. Tell God what you need, comma, and do what? And thank Him. That is the most powerful 2 words you can say in any situation. I thank you, God. I thank you. But really, and not to put us down, but in America, we got to twist it. We say thank you when we leave someone's house, when we leave someone's party, when we leave someone's presence. We say, hey, thank you for inviting me. You know what they do in other cultures? They take those shoes off at the door and they say, hey, one, I humble myself before you. Thank you for letting me come to your house. When you say thank you before you walk in a room, that sets the expectation. That sets this party's about to be something. Before you even listen, you're trying to dodge that situation right now. God's saying, no. Thank me as you walk into this situation because I got something for you on the other side. But we want to say, oh, thank you, God, for bailing me out. Give me that raise. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Thank you for this. Now, before it even happens, we take our shoes off. We say, Lord, whatever else happens, what did Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego say? Even if he doesn't rescue us from this fire, we will still praise him. We take them off. Thank you. Because then what? Verse 6, and then we're going to verse 7. Go verse 6 real quick. We just need to read this over. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank him for all he's done. That's a lot. Verse 7, my favorite word in the Bible, then. I may write a book one day, and one of y'all can just write it. Then. You know why then is my favorite? That's a promise word. That's a look before. That's a cause and effect word. I wasn't good in school, but you do something, there's an effect to it. That is a cause. That says, go back and read verse 6, then come back. So let's go back to verse 6, because then, go back to verse 6. Don't worry about anything. It said, pray about everything. Tell God what you need. Thank him for all he's done. And then what? Then you will experience God's. It's a promise. Then is a promise. The band was singing a song right before I came out. Z, can you come out? That was kind of the words in that. Was this scripture? We didn't know, we didn't plan, nothing like that. I want her to just be singing. You know what I mean? You got me. Then can I be honest with you? I preached this scripture wrong my whole life as a pastor. Crucify me, kill me, whatever, I don't care. Then I used to think God's peace, and hey, if you grew up like me, it wasn't called which exceeds anything. You know what it was called? A peace that passes all understanding. And then somebody come out that room right there, boom, and then a flag was being waved, and they do a lap right here. I used to think the peace that God's talking about right here meant warm and fuzzy. I used to think, and I'm not saying when you worship and the Holy Spirit comes on you and something happens in the supernatural realm, that doesn't affect the natural realm and you don't feel. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the warm and fuzzies don't pay the bills. The warm and fuzzies don't bring the kid home. And so I'm reading this, I'm going, I think I've gotten God's peace that passes all understanding wrong. And that's what she was singing. I'm not praying for warm and fuzzies. What if, when it says, you will experience peace which exceeds anything you can understand, that means put yourself in a situation you can't understand so that you experience. You ever been going through hell and you were able to smile? And someone comes up to you at work and goes, how are you doing it? You ever lost a loved one and someone goes, how are you doing it? It's not warm and fuzzy. If you ask anybody that's done that, that's not warm and fuzzy. But you know that you know that you know that you know God's doing something. At the end of this, I'm going to experience peace because he's growing me. He's doing something in me. He's changing something in me. He's going to work everything together for good to those who would believe in it. That's the word. That's not Tyler's words. That's the word of God. And I didn't know what that meant. I'm about to steal this chair. Can I sit down? Keep going, Z. You sound good. I didn't know what God's peace really was until I needed it. You ever been there? You thought you knew God until you really met God and you went, oh, this is a lot different than I thought. Because getting up here and preaching and doing that's nice, but no. I didn't know what God's peace really was until I wanted to start a church. So when I tell you we started Different Church in 2021, we started dreaming and planning and saving in 2014. Promise. Ask anybody. Promise. So we had saved up, and man, we don't have money like this, okay? When I say we had this amount of money in our bank account, this is 7 years or 6 years of saving. We had $20,000 in the bank account. Boy, that's a lot of 4-for-4s from Wendy's. Yeah, we're good. We had $20,000 in the savings account, and we knew that God was going to call us to use this to advance the vision God put in our heart, to go somewhere different, to do something different, to reach somebody. We thought. And so a part of that, we decided that we were going to pay our car off so we didn't have debt going into planning this church. So we spent $10,000 to buy a car back in like 2019. We bought a car cash. That's the first time I'd ever done that. I felt like a rapper or something. I felt like I had made it. I walked in, and I did it in cash. They wanted a check. I said, nah, man, I'm gonna go take this stuff out. I'm gonna do this one time. I got a briefcase for you. And then we said, when we start different church, we're gonna we're gonna go broke for this thing. We're gonna put $10,000 because we believe, we know God's gonna do something. We're doing it. 2021 happened. So I'm helping a friend of mine at his house. This car I just paid off, I just bought cash, right? And I've started working on different church. I started preaching, started getting people plugged in, all of that. I help him move, and it has a fob, all right? So when I talk about I had stepped up, man, I was a 2015 Jeep Cherokee, and it had a fob and a push to start. I put the fob in, and I went to go help my friend move. And then after we got done moving, he said, hey, you want to go get some lunch? I'll drive. I said, yeah. We hop in the car, we go eat, and we come back, and it was like the evening time. When we come back, my car's gone. Yeah. Some of y'all are falling asleep. Now I got you. My car was gone. And you know how like when something like that's happening, you're like, well, maybe my car was dark blue and not black. When I tell you, I start pulling on every car. Every car. I was doing it over. My car was gone. My car was gone. I moved out of this type of area, and now they found me. So I call the police. A lady comes up, a female officer comes up. She says, hey, Tyler, I got to get your information. We're going to look for your car, da-da-da. Then she asked me a question. She didn't mean to make me feel stupid, but it is what it is. She said, were the keys in the car? I was like, yeah. And she's like, well, why would you do that? And I was like, right? It's just a fight, right? You get so used to just putting it down, go somewhere. She said, okay, I'll let you know if we find it. That night, it was a Saturday. I had church the next day. I'm praying. Lord, a lightning bolt just strikes down. Doesn't mess up my car, but strikes down and gets that dude. I did, man. I was laying hands on him in the spirit realm. So I went to sleep that night bummed. My wife, I had to tell my wife, she wasn't with me, and that was the scariest part, not even losing my car. I had to call my wife and hear, I told you, you need to stop leaving that fire. Not now. Not now. 4 a.m. comes, and I'm praying, I'm getting ready for church, and God changes something in my spirit. He says, hey, pray for that young man. Pray for that young man, because if he's willing to steal a car, he's in a worse situation than you are. If that's his option out, pray for him. So I do. I start praying for this guy. Lord, I pray that you bless him. I pray that you bless his family, whatever they're going through. And I start doing that. And while I'm praying, no joke, I get a phone call from the officer. She says, we found your car, Mr. Sterban. Oh, don't clap. Don't clap. I wish that was look at the Lord. Look at this. She says, first off, are these guns and drugs yours? I was like, I'll sell them. I need some money right at this point. Yeah, I'll claim those things. I need it. Bro, she says, well, hey, we found him 3 a.m. He was pulling out of an apartment complex. We go on a high-speed chase. We chase him down for like 5 minutes. He hits a tree, totals your car. We've got him in. Would you like to press charges? Maybe you don't know how many plans I had. That had been a plan since 2014 to save up and put money. Maybe you don't understand what that did to me. I said, no, I don't want to press charges on him. His mama doesn't deserve that. His mama's going to be the one that has to pay for that. And I don't want her to see some Christian on whatever TV station, whatever, and go, oh, I'm still paying him $200. No, I'm not like that. Hey, the Lord's going to provide them. And my wife calls me. She says, what's the news? And because I paid cash, and this is this is kind of important, because I paid cash, and I'd always done the Dave Ramsey thing. They say when you pay something off, go to the lowest amount of insurance you can have because it's the less monthly payment that you're doing. What do you think? What do you think? I had no coverage. So I called my wife. I said, hey, it's totaled. This happened. And she said the most dangerous sentence that we just talked about. What are we going to do, Tyler? But in this moment, because I had been praying, because I had been seeking, because I had been close to the Lord for the last couple of days, I said, we just watched the Lord work. I am now in a situation that I don't understand. The only thing I'm able to understand and see is who? The Lord. That's it. I don't understand how I'm gonna get 10,000. I don't understand. We're broke at this point and we're supposed to be starting a business, starting all this. I don't understand. It's not fair. Whatever you're going through, I'll tell you right now, it's not fair you're going through it. It's not fair that you're worrying about it. It's not fair that you're anxious about it. But maybe, just maybe, that peace that passes all understanding, God's trying to do something in you right now. And I'd love to say, man, $10,000 dropped from the sky, and I didn't. We had to empty that thing out just to drive home. Just to get back to my family, I had to go broke. But the whole time I said, Lord, that's when I knew though, hey, I'm not gonna jump and stuff, but that's when I knew I was up to something. That's when I knew God wanted to do something with me. That's when I knew the enemy was coming after me. That's when I knew, and I started getting excited. I was broke, but I didn't need it. I had the Lord. And wherever you're at in your life right now, we pray, we're singing into your life. You may not have a dime to your name, but you're gonna be able to walk into every situation, talk to every CEO, get to everything that you want, because the Lord is by your side, dude. I'm telling you. That's when you'll have that peace. That peace. God's got it. God's got it. God's got it. But He wants you to talk to Him. I don't know that I'd be able to walk into that situation if I hadn't spent 2 whole days praying, seeking the Lord. God, what are you saying to me right now? So that's my prayer for you today. Maybe you've left the keys to your peace in the car, and every single time that cousin, auntie, uncle can just leave one comment and take them keys. Take your peace. Every time you get that email, your manager just takes your peace. I'm done doing that. This year, this is me personally, nobody and nothing is worth my peace. Not one. If seeing, hear me, maybe this is for somebody. If seeing your post causes me anything in here, it's not you, it's me. I'm removing you. But hey, don't get offended. It's not you, it's me. I'm growing, and I don't want to grow in your gym. You grow in your gym, I'll grow in mine. It's not worth my peace. And in this season, you don't know why you're walking through it, but God's doing something. God's creating. And now He's saying, hey, I hope it goes dark in this room. So all you can see is me. I hope it's dark around you. And so that's my prayer for you, wherever you're at. Lord, we love you. We thank you. We praise you. We honor you. We know you're doing something, but God, help us not to, I don't want to speed through the process. I want to see what you're doing right now in my life. God, maybe someone's going through something with their kids, with their finances, with their marriage, at their job. Maybe just spiritually they're doubting you. God, I pray not that nothing bad would happen. God, I almost pray that a fight would break out in their life so that they're able to go, God, I need you. God, I need you. God, I need you. And so they can see you show up every single time. God, we love you. We thank you. We praise you. It's your name we pray. And everybody said, hey, now real quick.